Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome into Countdown to Daytona here on Nexstar Nation. Kevin Connolly alongside my tag team partner, Denny Hamlin here, and we are positioned on the red carpet here in the 500 Club of the Daytona International Speedway as we gear up for the 67th running of the Daytona 500. Again, a lot to be excited about as the 2025 season is here,
Yeah,
Danny.
there's a lot of buzz around this track, a lot of buzz in this room right now, and we're going to be interviewing drivers over the next 90 minutes or so. And you know what? This in our business, it's called the lead story. They gave us the champ from last year, Joey Logano, to lead us off. Joey, how are you doing?
I'm good. What's happening?
Yeah. All right, very good. Now, there was a practice session this morning. This is unusual. Most of the time, media day happens before you guys are ever out on the track. So we actually have a little sample size of you out on the track. How did practice go for you this morning?
It's a very small sample size, as you said. But I think you get out there and knock a little bit of the rust off. Everything's in qualifying trim right now, so you don't get really any direction on what your car is going to be like in the pack. So for the duels or the 500. Still a bit of an unknown of what exactly you're going to be fighting, but we focused on trying to be good tonight, right? How do we qualify on the pole like we did last year, and try to get our Show Pencil Mustang up there. I got a cool looking car. Have you guys seen my race car this year?
Yeah, I like the added red to it.
It's only for this race, but I got the fade job. I don't know exactly what they call it, but it's the same paint scheme that Joseph Newgarden ran at the Indy 500. So he's won 2 in a row with this. It's only been raced twice before this in the Indy car. He's won both times. So the pressure's on to keep keep this paint job undefeated.
Kind of somewhat of a silly question. How much input do you have as a driver on the paint scheme and what your car looks like?
A zero amount, like you said. You know what I have learned, though? There's 2 things I've learned. They all look good in victory lane. And they all look the same from inside the car, right? Like, you can't see it. So it's but I do think it looks really, really cool, and excited to see it out on the racetrack.
Every driver wants this Daytona 500 on their resume. You have one. How greedy are you? Do you look back, well, gosh, that 2023 one, I wish I would have had that one. I wish I would have had another. You guys are greedy, aren't you?
If I wasn't greedy, I probably wouldn't be sitting here, right? I mean, you need to fight complacency, especially at this point in my career. You can't feel like it's good enough, ever. And so whether that's as far as the wins or your team, your car, yourself, nothing can be ever good enough. And you just got to keep looking for those little things to be better. So that's how we are. But that's also, I think, what makes teams great for a long period of time.
You won the 2024 championship. You're 3rd in your career. What did you guys do this off season to sort of keep that momentum going into 2025?
I mean, more of the same. We typically try to look back a little bit and say, okay, where's our strengths and weaknesses as a team, and whether it's at track or things that we do to prep, areas that we feel like we can be better at. That's kind of a common thing to do, but that's what we do, and then we focus on that, right? It's you work on your weaknesses and focus on your strengths. I really think that's the best way to do it.
You so look like you enjoy your job. Like you enjoy what you're doing. You're 34 years old.
Yeah.
How would you answer this? Where are you in your racing career? Your third quarter, late third quarter, your halftime? What do you think?
Oh, it's so hard to say. This is my 17th year.
Yeah.
So to think I'm halfway through, I don't think so. 3 quarters sounds about right, but you don't know, right? I mean, it's so many things depend on on how your life is going and what brings you joy, and are you competitive, right? I can tell you right now, if I couldn't win, I wouldn't want to do this at all, right? Like, it's all about winning to me, and so as long as we can be competitive, you're probably going to see me here.
All right. The third voice that you will hear today throughout our stream is JB Bruno, and he's going to fire off a couple of rapid-fire questions
to
all of our guests. So,
all right. You ready, Joey?
I'm ready.
All right.
Bring it on.
The first thing that comes to your mind for, TikTok, Instagram, one driver, real or fictional, you would love to race against at Daytona. Anybody? First person
Richard
comes on.
Petty.
Richard
the
Petty.
king.
Okay.
Yeah, I wanna race the
Gotta
king.
love it.
One song you'd race to at Daytona in the car.
Ooh, I can't say I've ever even thought about turning music on in this car.
You're so locked in, right?
Yeah.
Does a
I
song
love hearing
come to
the
mind?
sound of the engine, baby.
Okay.
That's
sound
music,
of that Mustang out there.
That's
Woo!
music to your ears.
Yes.
One word to describe your racing style.
Probably. Most people will say aggressive. I would say probably aggressive.
And lastly, if you win the Daytona 500, what are you going to do?
Go home and then get ready for Atlanta. So probably some media tour in there too somewhere, but that'll be pretty exciting.
It's a long, long season. You got to pace yourself.
It's not like you win the championship, you have the whole off season to enjoy it.
Yeah.
This is like you got a day or two, and it's like, oh yeah, you got to race next week.
Yeah.
Dang it, So he kicks off the year.
Well, very good. Joey, we appreciate the time. Best of luck in the Daytona 500 and, of course, throughout the 2025 season.
Great. Thank you very much.
Appreciate it, Joey.
Very good.
All right.
Joey Logano, again, one of the stars of NASCAR racing, no doubt about it. And he put together a great championship run once we reached the playoffs last year. I mean, he got hot and then rode it all the way to the championship.
Yeah, very much so.
Yep, no doubt about that. Hey, kind of the guy joining us now of the hour is the guy that was the fastest in practice today, Denny Hamlin. Great to see you. Gotta like your car. Fastest in practice in the morning session today. Kind of give us a status report on how you guys did today.
It was a smooth practice. Not a whole lot to it. The fast lap came from us being in a group around some other cars. But overall, we feel happy with our car. You really don't know until you get in those drafting situations, like we'll have tomorrow night in the duel. But really, our focus today, obviously, is qualifying. We struggled quite a bit in qualifying on these types of tracks last year. So it's, can we improve on that? Our goal in the offseason is, can we gain 10 spots? So if we qualified 25th last year, which is probably about our average on super speedways, can we qualify inside the top 15 tonight? That's what we'll be looking for.
Yep.
Yeah. You've won this race 3 times. There have been some great drivers, never won one. How awesome is it to come back here every year?
Yeah, it's so special, and there's a lot of things that make it special. But for me, it starts with coming in the tunnel. I remember coming in for the very first time in 2004 as a guest of Dale Jr.'s that weekend. He actually won that time. He had me bunking with Martin Truex, one of my future teammates that I wasn't aware of. But, that was a very special moment. When I came through the tunnel and I pop out, I see cars going around the racetrack. It was like, wow, I'm here. I'm at that place that I used to watch on TV for so many years. So it's very, very special place. It's gotten a facelift. It's certainly, got great grandstands, great fan interaction spaces now, but it still puts on a fantastic race.
You've won it 3 times in your career. Only 2 drivers in the history of the sport have won it more, Cale Yarborough and Richard Petty. What would it mean to you to get a 4th and put your name in the category with those drivers?
Yeah, I mean, it certainly would be special, and it's hard to tell you how I would feel or what it would mean before it actually happens. And I don't. I need for it to happen, and then we'll talk afterwards. But because I've been through this before, and I've tried to explain, well, what would it be like to win your first? And I didn't know until I did. And it's just it's resume changing. It's how they announce your name well into my retirement when I'm doing nothing but playing golf and celebrity golf tournaments. They're going to be talking about the Daytona 500 wins that I have, right? So it's certainly that's something that lives with you, your whole life.
We just asked Joey this question about where you are in your career, 44 years old. Are you beginning of the 4th quarter of that Hamlin career? Would that
I'm
be
in the
accurate?
4th quarter,
Fourth
no
quarter.
doubt.
Early 4th quarter? Are you going to go to overtime?
Oh, yeah. I think it depends on the success. I'm just too much of a competitor to just be one of the guys out there. I have to know that I'm going to have to be someone that they're going to have to beat every week. And the minute I feel like I'm not that guy, you won't see me.
All right, very good. Very interesting. You wear a lot of hats, driver, car owner. What have you found to be the most difficult to manage in those situations? You are a part owner of 2311 with Michael Jordan. What's the most difficult in those types of situations?
Well, the most difficult hat is the ownership hat. The driver, I feel like my job it's not easy, but I know I have one responsibility, right, is how do I make that car go fast? And now there's processes to that, the work I put in, the film I watch, the data I look at, all those things. But that's one aspect that I'm responsible for. As a team owner, I'm responsible for, do we have sponsorship? Is our car fast? Are we taking care of our partners? How's marketing? How's our branding? All those things, right? So there's such a big umbrella that the ownership, that falls under ownership. And so that has definitely been the most difficult part, but it's also been the most rewarding when they go out there and they perform well and they make it to the Final Four, because it's like watching your child. You're always going to be more proud of them than you are of yourself, and it's great to see the progress that team's made.
All right, Denny Hamlin, thanks for the time, and good luck this week going after your 4th Daytona 500.
Thank you all.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Right,
yeah.
Very good. Again, Denny Hamlin, driver of the number 11 car, was the fastest in the morning practice session. But again, he indicated that it was in a group, a pack of cars. And here at Daytona, if you're not familiar with the Daytona International Speedway, cars go much faster in a pack, in a group, in the draft. And then in qualifying, they'll go out in single cars. So the speeds in qualifying will be a little bit slower than you will actually see in the race on Sunday. Interesting thing with Denny Hamlin, as in the ownership group and the ownership conversation, he and his partner, along with the people at Front Row Motorsports, they're in a lawsuit, in a legal battle with NASCAR. So it'll be interesting to see if that plays any factor in how he does this season.
Yeah, interesting. I mean, we've heard from 2 drivers so far, Denny Hamlin and Joey Logano, and they were consistent in saying, if I'm not competitive, I'm gone. I'm out of this sport. I have no interest in just riding around in circles and doing pretty good. And if they don't feel like they can win and it's all about winning, they don't want to do this.
Yeah, and I mean, again, that goes right down to the core of being a competitor. And not only being a competitor, being a very successful competitor for many, many years. I mean, obviously, they've got wins in the biggest races. They've got well, Denny has not won a championship yet in the Cup Series. He certainly wants that. There's no doubt about that. It's probably the one thing missing from his resume. But
Isn't
he
this
really
picture
is a
interesting?
fantastic
I mean,
driver.
these guys talking for hours and hours today on the red carpet, just answering. And they're really cool. They never go, oh, not that question again. I mean, they're all, especially Joey. Have you ever seen an interview with him where he's not laughing or giggling or smiling? He just seems like he enjoys talking.
Yeah, it's so funny is he almost has like a split personality. Outside of the race car, very jovial, very friendly. He puts that helmet on and climbs in a race car. He's almost like a different person.
Yeah, that's funny what JB said. Describe your style in one word. He said aggressive. Other people think I'm aggressive. I guess I am. I guess I am aggressive.
He is very, very aggressive.
I wanted to add, we missed Denny on the rapid fire question, so we'll get him. I don't know, maybe sometime down the line. But yeah, I mean, all these drivers right now, everybody, if you're just joining us, they're live on the Media Day red carpet, and they kind of move over from podium to podium, if you will, and make their way towards us. We are at the end of the red carpet in a really cool spot.
Yeah, no doubt about that. And it is so exciting. We've done this for 4, 5, 6 years now.
Yeah. I think this is year 6.
Year 6.
Yeah.
It really is exciting to spend a little bit more sort of intimate time with the drivers, and they are really excited and jacked up for the upcoming season. And you can tell which guys have that edge and which guys are maybe a little bit more concerned that they need to pick up some speed.
Yeah, and they know, I mean, these drivers know that this media stuff, this is all part of their job. Like other sports, you just don't get this access to the stars like you do here in NASCAR, and they really enjoy it. They do.
Yeah, we're on the red carpet, and the drivers have 4 or 5 spots there. That's only one aspect of the media day. They speak to the writers on the other side of the room. There's other networks here. So, yeah, they do spend probably, a good 2-3 hours making their way all the way around the room to discuss about the upcoming season. And, that truly is part of their job.
Yeah.
To make things happen outside of the race car, but it certainly makes it a whole lot better when they're fast and they're in the race car.
Yeah. Looking forward to a good week. It's a busy day today, not only media day. You mentioned practice earlier and got qualifying tonight for the front row.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Hey, joining us now is the guy he's won the first race of the year already.
Yeah.
Coming out of the box. He won the Clash up at Bowman Gray Stadium. Chase Elliott, driver of the number 9 car for Hendrick Motorsports. Great to see you.
Yeah, you too.
How did you get a chance to really celebrate the win at the Clash?
Yeah, I mean, it's not a points win, but I think just the team morale and all of that was still very much alive, and still really important to us because, I thought we ended the year on a good note last year, honestly. I mean, I know it wasn't a championship and we didn't win, in the final months, but we had a couple more opportunities than we had in a while. We're in a position to, leading laps and just feel like we were working on the right things. And it was really nice to come out of the gate having built on all of that, over the off season, from my standpoint personally, our team as a whole, and to execute a really solid weekend from Saturday, from practice to qualifying to the heat race to, the big race on Sunday night. So just that whole experience I thought was a really, really nice week of execution for our group, and that certainly is important to be celebrated. So hopefully, we can carry some of that forward and, keep building on some of the good that we have going on right now.
How do you feel when you pull in here at Daytona? You're fast every year when you get here. You won a couple of poles. You've won a couple of duels. How confident are you when you get here?
Yeah, I feel fine. It's it's one of those things where the single car pace is not always indicative of how you're going to race. So I think that's an important one to remember as you progress through the event. Just trying to have yourself positioned in the right place at the right time, and that's a hard thing to guess sometimes. So the good news is, everybody at Hendrick Motorsports, I think, does a really good job with our Speedway program and giving us fast race cars that drive well, that we're able to be aggressive and push and kind of be that difference maker in the line, and that's what you want. And so our lack thereof success in the race down here, for the 9 team in particular, I don't think has been an indication of us not being fast or us not having good cars. I think it's mainly been, usually poor decision making on my behalf, or, having just been in the wrong place at the wrong time, or, somebody putting their finger on the caution button too soon, a couple years ago.
Yeah.
But, that's just part of plate racing, and, you kind of have to just learn to like it. It is what it is. You can't change it. So just try to embrace it and make the most of it.
Obviously, you're the son of Hall of Famer Bill Elliott, who had a lot of success here at Daytona. So obviously, you've been coming here your whole life. What is your first memory of coming here to the Daytona International Speedway?
I don't know the exact year, but I certainly remember the playground was always a top playground choice as a kid, and I don't know why I don't ever really remember a lot of the races. There are tracks that kind of stick out in my head, like, Dad won a race there late in his career at Pocono, and he won a race at Rockingham, and I actually remember bits and pieces of those days of him winning the Brickyard. I do not remember being at Daytona. Literally, other than that playground, I do not remember being here as a kid. I don't know why, but that one just has never. It's just never kind of stood out to me, which I guess is good and bad, because what I do remember are the experiences that I've had here personally and have been a part of from, 2 Xfinity, seasons starting off here, and then certainly, when the Cup career began, 10 years ago. So it's been, kind of hard to believe it's been that long, but we're all trucking on up there, I guess.
The NASCAR off season is like that. I mean, it's over in a hurry. I mean, how quick is it? Did you do anything fun during the off season?
Just enjoy time at home. It's so you mentioned it. The off season is so short, and it's really important to recharge your batteries over the winter. And whatever makes that happen for any person individually, I think is really important. Not just for the drivers, but also for the crew members. these guys spend a lot of time away from their families. I think it's really important for everybody to get that break, to recharge as much as you can, because I'm not sure if you've covered it yet, but the schedule this year is going to be pretty grueling. We have one off week in April, and then after that we're hammered down all the way through the first or second week in November. So it's a lot. And I just don't think people realize how hard these guys work to put these cars on track, to execute a week at the shop, and then, to get the cars loaded up on Thursday and then, be busting their butt here on Saturday morning it's a handful. Yeah. So it's a long year, and just, recharged and ready to go.
And NASCAR is one of those ultimate team sports. JB Bruno is our third voice here, and he's going to fire off a couple of rapid-fire questions.
Perfect.
So have at it.
For Instagram, TikTok, the drill, Chase. All right, one driver, real or fictional, so it can be a real person or somebody from a movie, TV show that you would race against at Daytona.
Stroker Ace.
Smoker Ace. One song. I know you're locked in and, behind the wheel, but one song you would love to just, blast on the track here at Daytona.
Man, that's tough. I've been deep into the Muscadine Bloodline group here lately, so anything they got going right now is pretty good with me.
I'm going to have to look that one up.
Yeah, they're really good.
Are they?
Yeah, they're really good.
Okay.
One word to describe your racing style.
Most of the time, confused. I'm usually confused.
You're way too hard on yourself. You are way too hard on yourself.
And lastly, if something special that you do or you will do if you win on Sunday at the Daytona 500.
Try to enjoy the moment. I know that's such a lame answer, but you guys don't realize how fast. I've been fortunate enough to experience some big moments in this deal over the last 10 years. And those, the videos and the snapshots and the pictures that you see from those moments, they happen like that. And it is just so hard to embrace that time because you want time. It's all go, 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 right? And you just like, golly, I just want things to stop, so I can enjoy this for a few minutes. So, anytime you have things go your way on a Sunday in NASCAR, I try to not ever take that for granted, and that would certainly be, I would treat this the same way.
All right, very good. Chase Elliott, we appreciate
the
time.
Yeah.
All right, good luck in the Daytona 500.
Right,
we're positioned inside the 500 Club here at the Daytona International Speedway. Right outside that door is Victory Lane.
Yeah.
And that's the place where all of the drivers want to be on Sunday.
Everybody wants to be there.
That's right. Joining us now is Chris Buescher, driver for RFK Racing. Boy, your team is expanded. Added a third car. What kind of impact will that have on the 17 team for you?
Yeah, you know what? That's the old saying, high tide raises all ships. For us, it's how do we make our team better? We've been very good here as a two-car operation at Super Speedway Racing in general. We had the 60 car as a part-time car last season in just a few races, and I think we've seen the positive impact that they made, albeit it was hard on us last year because we weren't fully staffed to do it, but there was a positive impact when we got to the racetrack, and the right situations presented themselves. We were able to find an A driver in Ryan Priest come over and be a part of that. To have Kroger on board with us, and Tad and Joey Geschecter back hanging out with us again. It's like this really small world has just come full circle. So we got a lot of great things coming, along with all of our anchor partners that we've had for many, many years with Fast on board with us for over a decade at this point. We have a lot of great things that have stayed the same, and then some massive changes that are going to help us really step it up as well. It's going to be a really great opportunity for us to have another car out there, to be more competitive, to be able to have that trust in and know that we all have each other's best interests in mind. Not saying we won't shove each other around a little bit after the white flag.
Yeah.
But we have a really strong opportunity ahead of us here.
He was teammates with Ryan Preece at JTG, 4 years ago?
I think
or is it
4 or
maybe
5 years ago now.
Okay.
Yeah,
It's
I'm
been
getting old.
It's been a minute.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Your teammate and boss, Brad Keselowski, his birthday is today. What did you get him anything? Is this a shock to you? You were like, oh no, I didn't get him anything.
That is
he turns
information.
41 years old today.
This is good to know because you know what? I got sweet tarts at the last station. I'm going to hook him up right
He'll
there.
love that.
Chris, hold that up for the camera. What do you got there?
Yeah, we got some.
Are you going to wrap it at least? It's his birthday.
You know what? I didn't know it was his birthday. What am I going to do? I got a problem here.
How important is it for you personally and your team to win the Daytona 500 and get 2025 off on the highest note it possibly could be?
Yeah, you know what? I might be a little bit of an outlier here, and I feel like I always catch a little bit of slack for it. But I try really hard not to put extra emphasis on the 500, in just for the simple fact that I don't want to force ourselves into a mistake because we are jittery about it. Right? This is a huge race. This is a huge opportunity. Our number one goal this season is how do we win early. So that is included in our overreaching goal, right, is how do we win this race. We just try really hard to be smart about it, to try and keep a level head so that, I promise the effort is there. We have talked about this thing. This race has been on in our gym for 2 months. We have watched this thing. I think I can tell you what lap everything happened along the way. It's burned into my head. I was having dreams about this race from last year at this point. So it's the effort's there. We're coming down here to figure this thing out. I know Brad's hungry for this race. He's a veteran of our sport that's been trying for a long time. There's a lot on the line for this thing, and we know that. If we can come down here and win this race, and we've been able to put our car in victory lane right behind us here, but late into a season and a little bit more stressful time of a season when you start talking about playoffs being right there on the line. So if we can do it early and set the stage for our season, it puts us in an incredibly different situation as we head into our second race of the year.
You've had some pretty good success in this Daytona 500, a third, a fourth, and a fifth. Is there one of those where you're like, I should have won that one?
Yes, but that's it's how you learn, right? It's what were these small mistakes from those days that did not enable us to close the deal, and that's been a big part of what I've thought about at this race. Is it's been the last 2 to 4 laps. How do I get it right in the last 2 to 4 laps? I've had really strong teams behind me. We have a very strong team right now. I promise we're ready for this thing. We're going to make all the best decisions we can. We have studied this thing, like we just said. We have watched it. We've talked about it with our 2 other teammates now, and how do we work together to make this a real opportunity for all of us. And if you can control this thing and have our 3 cars up front at the end, then the chances of one of us being able to pull off the win go astronomically higher than if you only have 1 car left at it and you're second or third in line.
All right. At the end of the race, where do you want to be on the 199th lap? You know what I mean? Where do you want to be in front? You want to be, second in line? You want to be third in line where you can make your move going to the checkers at lap 200? Where do you want to be?
I want to be in the lead.
Okay.
I want to be in the lead. I want to control what I can, and I want to be in the lead with a teammate behind me because they're going to hit me. We're probably going to be door to door. We're going to have black marks all up and down the side of this fast lane Mustang, and that's okay as long as we can still win. I don't think that teammate we're going to race hard, but you don't have to have that thought in your head of are they just going to spin me and turn me out of the way at this point. There's a lot riding on this thing, and we've seen it over and over again. So leading with a teammate behind you, I don't think you can ask for a better spot. And you know what? At least at the end of it, if you're side by side, come across the line, I sure want to be preference to win the thing. But if we make it a show at the end and one of us gets it, it would be a huge momentum builder for RFK Racing.
All right, our third member of our team, JB Bruno, has some rapid-fire questions for you.
Oh,
yes.
boy.
All right, Chris, you ready to go?
Well,
social
probably
media?
not, but
well,
we'll do
I
our
mean,
best.
you do the best you can, right? one driver, real or fictional. So maybe a real driver, I know it's in the room today or that you're aware of, or fictional from a movie or TV series that you would want to race against at Daytona.
Lightning McQueen.
Okay.
Yeah. Lightning McQueen.
Yeah. If he does a flip over me and then beats me, I'm going to be pissed.
Wow. I like that answer. Lightning McQueen's a good answer.
Second movie answer.
We weren't recording. Say that again. Who is it?
Lightning McQueen.
Why?
Yeah, because I just want to see him do the flip over the top of our roof. Yeah, I just want to make sure I beat him when he does it. But we have 2 kids now, so there's been more cartoons now.
They're great movies. One song you would race to full blast at Daytona for one lap if you could.
Full blast at Daytona. Oh man, Chris Stapleton has gotten stuck in my head so many times in races.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous. So I talked about that a lot. Bristol, Chris Stapleton parachute got stuck in my head my rookie season, and somehow or another that thing always comes back to haunt me somewhere through the season.
Do you hum it in your head maybe sometimes? If you
no, full out, like trying to get the lyrics right. And, and then I get them wrong, and I get upset. And yeah.
One word to describe your racing style.
My racing style, calculated. I guess.
Okay, good one.
I was going to say like
word.
Mark Martin, but that's not one word. Yeah. But I feel like I've tried to emulate a lot of
He
his
was
style.
a very calculating driver.
Yeah. I've had a lot of similarities across what I can tell to Mark through the years.
And lastly, one special thing that you will do if you win on Sunday at the Daytona 500.
You're going to laugh at me, but the first special thing I got to do is figure out a dog sitter because we're staying down here to celebrate.
So figure out the dog sitter.
Yep, figure out the dog sitter.
Fantastic.
I got to believe somebody will take care of that.
I think
for
we
you.
can handle it. I think we can handle it, yep.
Chris Buescher, everybody, driver of the number 17 car for RFK Racing. Appreciate the time.
Appreciate it, Chris.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Good
Thank
luck.
y'all.
Good luck in the 500. Good luck on the 2025 season. Anyway, great answers.
Yeah.
Again, another movie answer on the driver that he would like to race against in Lightning McQueen.
Yeah.
And I love the fact that these guys are just so excited about the 2020. There's just an energy about the Daytona 500 and the start of the new season, and we're certainly experiencing
and
that.
This guy's
right
excited about coming back here to Daytona for sure.
How's
it going?
All right, William Byron, the defending champion of the Daytona 500. How did your life change after winning the Daytona 500 last year?
Well, it wasn't immediate, but I think that over time, just the opportunities that you get to do and some of the cool things you get to go see and be a part of is definitely a good benefit and experience of it. So I would say that definitely has an effect as the year goes.
All right, what was the best thing that you got to do?
What kind of did you get to do? All the talk shows and all that?
Just I got to do a trip to New York, so that was pretty fun. That was cool, and then just periodically throughout the year, just being able to do some things with people that I've never met, so that was awesome.
All right, very good. Hendrick Motorsports has a great history here at the Daytona International Speedway and in the Daytona 500. How much confidence does that give you, before you even get out on the track?
Well, I think that, we've had certainly some really good years here where to be able to qualify on some poles and run up front. So this year's all about trying to qualify on the pole, number one, and then race up front on Sunday. So it's a challenge in 2 different ways, but feel like our team is well prepared for qualifying. It's nice to have a practice and have a chance to really kind of shake down the car, I would say, and then make sure it's all ready to go for qualifying. And then obviously on Sunday, the battle of drafting and being in the right position and teamwork is a huge thing. So that'll be a challenge in itself.
I mean, Phoenix and the Championship 4 is so far down the road. I mean, here we are in February in Daytona, but you've made the Championship 4 the last 2 seasons. That you just want to give yourself a chance, right? That's the goal, just to make sure in Phoenix I got a chance to win it all.
You do. I think you have to be positioned well and prepared for that racetrack in itself now. It's not like it used to be where any of the 4 guys can win. Really, you do have your favorites at that racetrack. So we know the challenge. We know what the racetracks are starting this season, and we'll do a lot of preparation to get ready for Martinsville and Phoenix, which are the final 2 events. So we just have to be good at those places, and that's what it takes to win the championship.
Coming back here to the Daytona International Speedway, plate racing, strategy, teamwork. How many meetings are you in and where strategy is discussed for the Daytona 500, and how quickly does that strategy go out the window, when you're going down the backstretch on the last lap?
Well, yeah, I mean, on the last lap, you're definitely not thinking about strategy. It's all about instinct and being in the right place. But we certainly have a lot of meetings throughout the week to talk about, what we can do as teams to prepare, and then you go out there and you try to execute the best you can and try to put yourself in those positions. Just make those good decisions, as the race goes along. So it's that's what it's all about.
Tonight is pole qualifying. You've won a pole here before. Hendrick is always in contention. Is that a big deal for your company, for you, and for Hendrick?
Yeah, it's a huge deal. I mean, it's the biggest pole of the season, minus Phoenix, I would say. So it's a huge deal to be able to go out there and compete hard and fight for the pole.
You drive the number 24 car, which, and you have the colors that Jeff Gordon used for many, many years. Have you noticed you've picked up a few of Jeff Gordon's fans along the way? And how much did winning the Daytona 500 last year kind of bring some fans onto the bandwagon?
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a lot of 24 fans out there. I don't know how many are minor Jeffs, but I appreciate all the support, and I definitely am very honored to have all that fan support, and try to keep it going, try to keep winning races for them, and make those guys proud.
You mentioned about winning races. You have 13 Cup wins in your career. You're just 27, I guess, 27 years old. It's just all about just keep adding, stacking wins.
Yeah, you're trying to. I mean, I think trying to just continue to compete at a high level. That's the biggest thing, is trying to compete at a high level to win races and be up front in contention.
Mm-hmm. JB Bruno is the third voice that you hear on today's stream across Nexstar Nation. He's going to ask you a couple of rapid-fire questions.
Sure.
Quick answers. Have at it.
First
Let's go for it.
thing that comes to mind, William. You ready?
Let's do it.
All right. One driver, real or fictional,
Yeah.
that you would love to race against at Daytona.
I'd say Dale Earnhardt. That's an easy answer.
Yeah, senior.
Senior, yeah.
Just confirm. Okay, got it. All right, one song you would love to have on full blast for one lap at Daytona.
Shoot, man. So put me on the spot. Let's just go with a Shabuzi song, I guess.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. One word to describe your racing style.
I would say just fast, I would say.
That's a good word,
Yeah.
obviously.
That's a good one.
That's a good one. And then lastly, something special that you will do should you win, emerge victorious and come here to Victory Lane on Sunday, winning the Daytona 500.
I like the champagne shower. That was the best part of last year.
The champagne
I'd like
shower.
that again. That was nice.
Did you go visit your car in the museum?
No, but I have already, and then they'll obviously give it back to us on Sunday.
Yeah.
So that's cool. Yeah.
All right, very good.
Cool.
William, we appreciate
Thanks,
the time.
guys. Yeah,
Thank you.
Appreciate
Best
it.
of luck in
Thank
the
you.
2025 Daytona 500, and he's good. He's fast. He's real fast,
Yeah.
and he certainly is going to be a threat to win on Sunday with that Hendrick Motorsports
Yeah.
power. Joining us now, Shane Van Gisbergen. All right. You took this sport by storm, winning the Chicago Street Race in your very first NASCAR start. How did that change your life and redirect your career?
I wouldn't be here apart from that, I guess. So, yeah, it was awesome. It was a really cool experience. And then, what Justin and Trackhouse have put together for me now, and had like a learning year transition over here, and to be full-time in Cup this year, it's been it's been a whirlwind. So pretty cool to be here.
Yeah, race fans know that you're so good at street races or road course races. How is the super speedway thing coming along for you?
It's been okay. I got a lot better last year. I did 3 Cup races in the super speedways, and the first one, everyone was kind of just shoving me out of the back, get out of here. Every time I got in the pack, I'd get put 3 or 4 wide, so they'd shuffle me to the back. And then at the end, there was kind of earned the respect, I guess, and people could trust me, push me, and I led for a bit. So that was pretty cool. But yeah, the races are so different. So I'm looking forward to it.
What is the biggest challenge for you as you make the transition to oval racing? What has been the most difficult, and what has transitioned? What were some of the skills that you had that have translated to now NASCAR stock car racing?
On the ovals, nothing.
Yeah, nothing?
It's nothing I've ever done before. There's no other racing in the world like this, really. So, yeah, the intermediate tracks, that's the toughest. Like the speed we go, the way the cars handle, that's the craziest racing that we do here. But the short tracks, I'm decent at. You know, super speedways, still learning. And then, obviously, road courses, I'm okay. But
You're more than okay.
yeah.
I'm okay.
Thanks. But
yeah.
yeah, I still got to, like tracks like Vegas and, you know, stuff like that. That's where I need to keep getting better at.
Yeah, Vegas, Charlotte, Kansas, those are considered intermediate tracks, mile and a half tracks.
Yep.
Like
Expectations for this week. What do you think?
I don't know. I never go racing with any, so who knows? But feel good. Team's really good, and we got 4 awesome drivers in the team. It's been great. You know, we're all from different places and talk a lot differently, but describe the car in the same way. So, yeah, cool to be part of Trackhouse this week, and yeah, hopefully we can get a great result out of it.
All right, we've got a couple of rapid fire questions for you from JB, our man behind the board here. Quick answers.
Ready?
Whatever comes to the top of your mind.
Ready, Shane? First thing that comes to your mind. All right, one driver, real or fictional, that you would like to race against at Daytona. They can be real or a character.
I don't know. Probably Marcus Ambrose when he raced it. That would be cool.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool to do
All
that
right.
race with
That's a
him.
cool pick.
Another driver from down under. Yeah.
That's right. One song you would race to for one lap at Daytona. You'd have on full blast.
I wouldn't listen to music when racing.
That's an honest answer.
Yeah.
One word to describe your racing style.
Flat out, but hyphenated, so it's one word.
There you go. No, we'll allow the cheat. And lastly, if you emerge victorious and you come into victory lane, you win Daytona on Sunday, what's something special you're going to do?
Probably mix something nice in my Red Bull.
All right. I get what you're throwing down.
Awesome. Shane Van Gisbergen, thank you very much. We appreciate the time. Best
you.
of luck Sunday in the Daytona 500 and, of course, throughout the 2025 season.
Cool. Appreciate it, guys.
Thank you.
Very
Okay.
good. He's going to be driving the number 88 car this year for Trackhouse Racing. That's a team that has just grown and expanded and has really, truly been very successful in a very short amount of time.
And all of those drivers, road course race, every road course race that comes along, I mean, look for the Trackhouse to be pretty good.
And there's more road course races on the schedule
Very
than ever
much so.
before. Joining us now is a driver that really doesn't need any introduction. He's Kyle Busch, driver of the number 8 car for Richard Childress Racing. As always, great to talk to you. Great to see you. What would winning the Daytona 5? I know you've gotten this question hundreds of times.
Yeah.
It's the one thing kind of missing on your resume. What would it mean to knock that off?
Yeah, no, it would certainly be huge. You know, not just for me, but all of RCR getting back to victory lane and doing it in my 20 years of trying, let alone like someone else who drove for RCR did in his 20th tries. So it'd be great to be able to match that with Dale Earnhardt. But winning championships and Brickyards and Coke 600s, All-Star races, and the Southern 500, having all of that checked off, there's only one left. So it would certainly be cool to get this one.
Kyle, did you hear who FanDuel has made for their favorite to win Sunday's Daytona 500?
You're going to tell me.
How about that? What do you think about that?
I mean,
I know it's just odds, but, you know.
Yeah, it would be nice to be able to come out with that victory. You know, I would certainly side with that. So can we all just be done? Can we all go home? I mean, I think it would be a great sports story of the year for a guy who's been here as long as I have to finally be able to check that box.
Obviously, you've had success for many, many years. I know you were extremely disappointed to have your win streak, at least one victory per year, snapped last year. How does that make you even more hungry going into this season to sort of get back into victory lane?
It does, you know. Obviously, I'm not going to be able to start over. There's not 19 more years that's going to happen out in the future. But just being able to get back to victory lane, being able to get RCR where they belong and putting them back on the map, and, you know, having Team Chevy and everybody proud of what we've been able to do and the turnaround that we make from last year to this year. So excited about all the new people. There's a bunch of engineers and things like that have been working on our program of the places that we excelled at last year versus the places we didn't. Maybe they excelled. We can take some of that stuff and have some good stuff this year.
Kyle, what do you think about this thought? In other sports, like, say, a Major League Baseball pitcher, if they've lost some miles per hour on their fastball, they got to be smarter. They got to change things. Maybe LeBron James isn't as athletic as he used to be, so he's got to be smarter different ways. In NASCAR driving, as you get older, what can you be a smarter driver? Can you win different ways? I mean, how does that work?
Yeah, no, certainly racecraft. You know, we talk about that a lot with different drivers, and some don't have any, and some are very good. So, you know, you got to know about who you're racing around and be a little bit smarter than them when the time comes. And this new car and the little bit different era of drivers and things like that has certainly changed the game. And so being able to learn into some of that stuff and teach an old dog new tricks is sort of where I feel like I'm at a little bit. But having that experience over those guys can certainly help you in a lot of different situations as well, too, of just knowing what to expect, or at least believing that you know what to expect.
Where do you want to be on the race on Sunday, you know, coming in those last couple of laps? You want to be the leader? You want to be second? You want to be third? Where's the best spot
I think
for
you
Kyle
want to be
Busch?
leading. I think you want to be leading. You know, you want to be up front. You want to be out front, controlling the race, having an opportunity to control the lanes and keep those guys behind you.
Yeah. How much can you not wait for Sunday? I mean, just like, let's get it here. Let's go.
Trust me, as you get older, the days fly by a lot faster, so it'll get here. I'm not in any sort of hurry, but you know, Richard's got a funny line about life. He talks about a toilet paper roll. So when you start pulling off the toilet paper in the beginning, it's going really slow, but as it gets down towards the end, it's ripping really fast, you know. So that feels like life. So let's not hurry it up any more than it have to.
How much time do you spend looking out the front windshield as opposed to the rear view mirror here at Daytona?
It depends where you're at. You know, obviously out front, you're probably 90% looking out of that rear view camera, that rear view mirror, whatever you've got to be able to look at what's going on behind you. You're also relying a lot on your spotter to tell you about what's happening behind you, because more so nowadays, all the energy is coming from a line of cars. It takes, if there's a row of 9 cars, they're going to outpower a row with 7 cars. You know what I mean? So it doesn't matter if you've got, it's strength in numbers. It doesn't matter if you feel like you've got better cars in 5 versus just the amount of pure number of 6 cars. That's going to always outdo.
All right. Our third voice here is JB.
All right.
And we
Kyle?
have tasked him with rapid fire questions.
Oh, okay.
The fun
cool.
stuff.
Quickest-
the fun
all right.
stuff. You
Quickest
ready?
thing that comes to your mind.
All right, all right. So one driver, real or fictional, that you would really love to race against at Daytona.
Dale Earnhart.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Two.
he's won the most here, right?
Yeah.
32 wins or something
Yeah,
like that, I think.
through
What,
all-
what would that look like, you against Dale?
I don't know if we'd finish.
That's apropos. One song that I know you're probably not really thinking about music behind the wheel, but if you have one song on full blast for a lap at Daytona that suits your style, what would it be?
Oh, man, I don't have any idea. Something, let's go something like Metallica or Limp Bizkit, you know, something to just amp you up and keep you excited and keep you rolling.
Love it, love it. Rolling, no, yeah, Limp Bizkit rolling. There you go. One word to describe your racing style specifically.
Style. I don't know. People would say aggressive, but honestly, you know, it's just you got to be smart. So I'll go with aggressive.
Okay. And lastly, should you win on Sunday, something special that Kyle Busch will do after winning the Daytona 500?
I might cry.
Oh.
Yeah.
There you go.
Or I'll do this. This is my mic drop.
I
love it. Love it. Love it. Love it.
Kyle, we appreciate
All
the
right,
time.
no problem, y'all.
Yeah,
Y'all have
Always
fun.
great
Thanks.
to talk to him. Again, driver of the number 8 car for Richard Childress Racing, and obviously RCR has a great history here at the Daytona International Speedway. He mentioned Dale Earnhardt, the all-time winningest driver. When you count the summer races, the qualifying races, the clash that was here at Daytona for many years, Dale Earnhardt really was the king of doing very well here at the Daytona International Speedway. All right, joining us now is Martin Truex.
How's it going, guys?
All right, great to see you. You retired, right? Isn't that what they said? You retired?
I'm still retired.
You're bad at retirement.
Just came here to play.
That's right. You're not a full-time driver this year, but here you are in the Daytona 500 trying to attempt to make the Daytona 500 to try to check that one off the old box for the old resume.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the little carrot. That's what's dangling out there for you.
Yeah, I'm excited about it. You know, it's a different feeling coming down here in this situation. You know, not being locked in and having to race our way in tomorrow night. It's been since 2005, I guess, since I've had to do that. So a little different feeling, but same Daytona, right? It's this is a big one. Everybody wants to win it, and that's why I'm here too. So excited about the opportunity with Bass Pro and with Tricon and putting all this together. It's been a fun process so far, and hopefully we can have a good week down here and have some fun on Sunday.
Yeah, there's a lot of excitement and people looking forward to tomorrow night's duels. Some big names not in the race yet. You and Jimmy Johnson. It could get really interesting.
It could, and honestly, I think a perfect world would be qualify on time, fast enough tonight to be locked in. That would be very nice. But if we can't do that, we'll go have some fun tomorrow. So it'll be a little bit more nerve-wracking if we don't do it tonight.
Yeah. How did this deal come about? Did you go looking for the opportunity, or did the opportunity come to you?
It kind of just all came together, and honestly, it started last year when I was talking about and start getting ready to announce retirement with Johnny Morris, talking to him, and it's like, hey, would you still want to do Daytona? I was like, is that an option? He's like, yeah. So we put it together. I mean, the big details, which is, sponsor and all that stuff, which is, the big deal these days. We did that pretty quick and had a lot of time to work on it. So, a lot of help from JGR and then, David Gilliland and everybody at Tricon getting together and just coming up with an idea. And it was like, this all sounds great. So far it's working out well, and it's been fun. So thanks to all those folks that made it happen, and we get to go have some fun now.
Yeah. You said when you were going to retire, you were going to just do a lot of hunting and fishing. Do you wake up every day and go, is it hunting or fishing day today?
Depends on where you're at and what the weather's like. Yeah. But, yeah, I mean, you can pretty much do either or depending on where you're at most of the year. So it's been fun, though, honestly. I mean, this is, we call it when we're done in Phoenix, off season, right? And usually it's, you get a few weeks in November. Next thing you know, it's Christmas and you're back to work. And this is the first true off season I've had in quite a long time. So it's been a lot of fun. I haven't been traveling around working. It's just been enjoying things, and it's been a lot of quality time with friends and family this year or this winter so far. It's been awesome. So loving it and getting to have a little fun too.
Yeah. All right. So what was the best thing you did this off season?
I mean, a lot of hunting and fishing was most of it. And then I love holidays. I love Christmas time, and so that was good. Got my biggest buck ever with a bow back in end of November. So that was a good way to end the career there. And it's just been fun. Been laid back, relaxed.
All right.
What kind of driver are you just on the streets? If there's a driver going really slow in the left lane, which irritates everybody,
yeah.
I mean, are you cool? Whatever. Or you're like, get out of the way.
Get out of the way. I'm like, get out of the way. There's signs on the road that say, keep
yes,
right.
There are.
Go, pass to the left, keep to the right.
Yeah.
It's funny. I was driving here last night, and I was back in New Jersey for a week or so. And we had a blizzard, a blizzard last night. And I'm driving to the airport, and there's, a lot of snow. You can't see the lines on the road. And people got their flashers on. They're going down the Parkway at 35. And I'm like, move over. I made a whole new lane down the left down the left side. And they were probably like, this guy's crazy here. But,
I'm a professional. It's okay.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
All right, real quick, some rapid-fire questions before we let you go.
All right, Martin, I got the fun questions. They have the hard-hitting questions. I have the softball ones ready. Well, maybe they're not softball questions. One driver, real or fictional, that you would really love to race against at Daytona.
Cole Trickle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Another movie
Yeah,
title.
you're right.
Yep.
As soon as you open up
I
the
like that we're
fictional.
getting a balance here.
Yep,
We're clearly getting a balance. Let's go on if, one lap you were blasting a song. Martin Truex Jr. is blasting a song at Daytona during the race. What's the song that comes to mind?
Honestly, nothing, because I tried listening to music here one time testing, because test days used to be so long and boring. You'd do 2 laps at a time for 3 days straight. And I turned on music, and I couldn't concentrate, so I turned it right off.
Wow, okay. Yeah. It bothered you.
Yeah, it's terrible.
One
so
word
nothing.
To describe your racing style.
Smooth.
Okay, we haven't had that one yet.
Yeah,
that's the first one for smooth.
That's fantastic. And lastly, should you win Daytona on Sunday, what's something special that Martin Truex Jr. will do afterwards?
Throw a big-ass party.
There you go.
Can we Can we be invited?
Absolutely.
We're all invited. We're going to now I'm rooting for you.
Very good. Martin,
Yeah.
it's a pleasure to see you as always. Truly one of the good guys in NASCAR.
Thanks, guys.
Racing.
Yeah, good luck to you.
Okay. Very good. Again, he is one of the drivers in an open car that is not guaranteed a starting spot just yet, so he's going to have to race his way in. He's got a couple of opportunities to do that. One is through qualifying. If he's one of the fastest in qualifying, he certainly locks his spot into the Daytona 500. And then if in the dual qualifying races, if he could win one of those, he's also locked into the Daytona 500.
We only have a couple minutes with this driver, if we can get right to it. Ross Chastain sitting down.
All right, Ross,
Afternoon,
great to see
gentlemen.
you.
Yes.
All right. when you come through the tunnel here at Daytona, what are you thinking about?
Well, I did it last night for the first time this week, and I was trying to get into the Rolex Lounge to go to the Betty Jane France poker tournament for the NASCAR Foundation, and I was going the wrong way. Okay, so I drove all the way in here and was trying to come in this building. I was supposed to be up in the suites up outside. So, but that moment, I went through the Turn 4 tunnel this time, and you feel the history, I do, in Turn 4, because that was the old original one. The Turn 1 tunnel's new and big, and you can tell it's modern. The Turn 4 one, it's like a pipe. You're like driving through, and I was driving a Tahoe. The Tahoe fits by like a half inch on each side, so no scrapes yet.
The excitement here in February, beginning of the season, Daytona 500 for you and for Trackhouse.
The excitement?
Yeah.
Capital letters.
Yeah.
4 cars, 4 drivers from 4 different countries, just never been done before, and just a real intentional push by Trackhouse to take that next step with Shane coming in full-time. We're adding people, we're hiring people. And just the processes are evolving. So capital letters on excitement.
Yeah, Helio Castroneves, who is a 4-time Indy 500 winner, is going to be in the Daytona 500 for the first time in his illustrious career. What kind of questions has he asked you about stock car racing, and what kind of advice are you giving Helio?
Yeah, really I think the on-track stuff will come now that he's driven in practice. We'll have some time after media day. And then definitely after the duel, right ahead of and after the duel will be where we can really get granular on the on-track. Off-track, we're pretty similar in size and shape, so he's using a lot of my hardware inside the car. The seat, the way we build the one car for me fits him. So he went with that. He tried all the different ones. Definitely not Shane.
No.
Okay, Shane's big boy.
Yeah.
Daniel, everything's in Spanish, so you can't read. We don't know what's going on in there. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, it's that was what I've been able to help with the most, is lend him some bolts and hardware.
All right, very good.
Yeah, I think you've been in 6 Daytona 500s, 3 top 10s. What do you think? What do you think?
Feast or famine.
Yeah.
It's not sure. Everyone has played out different, so I don't know what to think. I just know how to prepare to the best of my ability. I don't know if I'm preparing the 100% right way, but we evolve each year, and we'll see how this one plays out. Every Daytona 500 I've ever seen has played out different, though.
Yeah, but before we let you go, a couple of rapid-fire questions from our man JB over there.
Fun questions real quick because we got to get you out of here. I'm getting the wrap sign. Ross, real quick. Okay, first up, one driver, real or fictional, you would want to race against at Daytona. Just you one-on-one.
I don't think any one-on-one race would be fun at Daytona. We need more energy. We need more cars. So,
well, who's a name that comes to mind? Someone you would want to race against here? Anybody?
I mean, I would like to make laps against. Learn from Dale Jr.
Okay.
Great answer.
First one for him.
One song that embodies your race style that you would listen to and put on full blast in the car.
I believe that we will win.
Yeah.
One word to describe your racing style? I mean, you're riding the wall now. I mean, I know I've seen the clip.
Yeah. Maybe just a lot of surprised faces, like a audible gasp.
Okay.
Is A-H-H-H-H a word?
Yeah, sure. We'll make that a word. And lastly, if you should win on Sunday at Daytona, what's one thing that's special for you that you would do?
Guys, come
We
on.
know. He's gonna smash the watermelon.
I don't even have to ask the
Smash a
question.
watermelon right on the front stretch.
A special watermelon or any water?
It's in the holler, and yes, it's special, and then there will probably be hundreds, if not thousands, more in the infield.
Yes.
Oh, very good. Great to see you. We appreciate it.
Thank you, boys. Good to see you again.
All right.
Yeah,
Okay.
thank you.
Good luck in the Daytona 500, and of course on Sunday, Ross Chastain is
Yeah.
he is fun to watch
Yeah.
when he's behind the wheel of a race car.
Yeah.
Unpredictable would be my word to use to describe him.
Very much so. All right, Kyle Larson.
Joining us now is Kyle Larson, driver of the number 5 car for Hendrick Motorsports. Kyle, great to see you. Got a little practice time in this morning. How'd it go? What do you think?
I don't know. It's fine, I guess. It's practice at Daytona or any of these super speedways is kind of whatever. But you know, if the team can learn something from it and gather some data that benefits us for later on, then I'm all for it. So, but as far as behind the wheel, you're just making laps.
All right.
Yeah. How do you just your history here? you don't want to like, oh, bad luck, because that sounds so like, oh, woe is me. But you've had a lot of bad luck here.
Yeah, I mean, yes and no. I think we've gotten a lot better. At running up front and contending, and probably our average running position would be one of the best, I would say, in the field. But still, I need to get, like, if you can be leading the race, that's the best position, I feel like, to avoid crashes. And I feel like I'm just, don't quite get to that point yet. So then, yeah, I get swallowed up in a crash. So, I mean, part of it's luck, but if you also do a little bit better job or execute a little bit differently, maybe you're not in those wrecks all the time. But there is a lot of luck that goes into this race, and hopefully this year we can find some of that.
How many strategy meetings do you have to sit through to prepare for the Daytona 500?
Nothing really more than normal. Like, as a team, we'll meet as a 5-team. We'll do kind of our, like, later on, we'll probably do like a pre-qualifying, kind of look at your launches and RPMs, and then before the duels, you kind of get together maybe, and before the race. So this, once probably before each sort of thing. So yeah, nothing out of the ordinary. I think probably a majority of people do that, but it would be the same sort of routine for any race for us.
Yeah, tonight is pole qualifying. Is that a big deal for you? You've won a pole in the past. Hendrick, the whole company.
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, like, this is we don't mean a whole lot, as a driver behind the wheel for qualifying. So for me, like, when we get the pole or when you qualify good, like, it's really rewarding to celebrate with your team because they're the ones that prepared the car. The engine shop built the engine, like, everything. There's so many more hands that go onto the car than me just behind the wheels. So, like, yeah, it's just important for them, and I think a lot of their hard work needs to be showcased.
You're going to do the Coca-Cola 600 and the Indianapolis 500 again in the same day, referred to as the double. What did you learn last year that'll help you this year in this year's attempt?
Yeah, so I didn't get to do the double last year because of the rain. Yeah, but I still got to compete in the Indy 500, so that was good. I was happy to get to do that half of it because I felt fresh. Like, I felt really good, after the race, and felt completely ready for 600 miles. And yeah, unfortunately, I didn't get to do it. But so yeah, I would say I learned that however I prepared last year or whatever was good, and eating healthy and getting good sleep, all that stuff, paid off because I did feel ready for 600 miles. So hopefully this year the weather will be good, and there will be no delays unless we win, and then we can get there in time.
All right, very good. Real quick on the rapid fire questions.
Fun questions for you, Kyle. You ready to go? Here we go. One driver, real or fictional, that you would love to race against at Daytona.
At Daytona, Dale Earnhardt.
Yep.
Yeah, we've had that multiple times today. One song that you would perhaps put on full blast that embodies your racing style.
That embodies my racing style? Oh, man. I don't know. Something
or an artist. How about an artist?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not good at, like, remembering titles or artists or anything.
I'm
but
with
something
you. I'm
like
the same way.
Something aggressive.
Okay, something with an edge.
Yeah.
One word to describe your racing style.
Aggressive.
Okay.
Edgy.
Edgy. Yeah, there you go.
Edgy. There you go. And lastly, if you should win on Sunday, something special that you're going to do after winning the Daytona 500.
Yeah, good question. I don't know. I think that always, you don't really plan for that, so I don't know. I didn't pack for New York, so I'll hopefully have to stop
Pack
at home.
for New York is the answer.
Yeah.
All right, very good. Kyle, we appreciate the time.
Thanks.
All right,
Thanks, Kyle.
again.
Good luck to you.
Typically, the winner of the Daytona 500 goes on a media blitz, goes to New York, spends a lot of time on many of the talk shows. So, so Kyle Larson would like to be on those talk shows on Monday.
And it sounds exhausting because you're flying everywhere doing all this, but it didn't exhaust William Byron last year. I think he won like 3 of the first 8 races, or 3 of the first 11 or something like that. So he winning the Daytona 500 didn't bother him at all.
Yeah. Hey, folks, Kevin Connolly, Danny Harnden here on the red carpet here for Media Day for the Daytona 500, the 67th running of the Daytona 500, and we had an opportunity to talk to most of the drivers in the field. You know, spend about 4 or 5 minutes with them, getting their thoughts, getting their feelings as we head into the Daytona 500. Joining us now is Ricky Stenhouse, driver of the number 47 car. He is one of 8 potential drivers in this year's field that has won the Daytona 500 before. What was it like when you won the Daytona 500, and how did your life change?
It was unbelievable. You know, now when I come into Daytona 500 Media Day, I got that trophy with my name on it. So that never gets old. But, you know, I think for us and our small team, it was life-changing. You know, I felt like it gave our whole team just a little pep in their step. And, you know, now when you come down here to the Daytona 500, way more confidence, way more relaxed, and ready to go win another one.
Why does super speedway racing work for Ricky Stenhouse? Why?
Honestly, I have no idea.
You're very good at it.
When I was in the Xfinity Series, I really kind of dreaded super speedway racing. We won at 1.5 miles and short tracks mainly, and we had some good runs on speedways, but it never was like just spectacular. And then I would say around 2017 when we won our first speedway race, I gained the confidence that I needed. And I feel like now I kind of come in with a different mindset. I used to come into super speedway racing with, hey, I'm going to miss the wrecks. I'm going to get a good finish at the end of the day. And that was my mindset. Now I kind of come in with a mindset of, man, I got an opportunity to win. I'm going to try and seize that moment and have some fun. And we got the confidence that obviously we've done it before, right? So, I think it's more of a mindset thing. And then, you know, I have learned a lot. I've been doing this a long time. I've learned a lot about the draft and kind of how to position ourselves and what I need to do as a driver. And I think my team's gotten really good. They have done a great job of really understanding speedway racing, understanding the pit strategy side of it, because, you know, now we're saving fuel and trying to keep our track position and, you know, not spend a lot of time on pit road. You know, there's just a lot of things that go into it now.
200 miles an hour plus going down the backstretch, inches apart. Like, and when I hear the in-car radio traffic, you guys sound so calm. How is that possible?
Well, we do it week in and week out. And I think, you know, but at the same time, you know, don't get me wrong, we're all waiting for the bomb to blow up, right? Like, we're waiting for somebody to hit the trigger and, you know, and hopefully we're not around that, right? Or the one that pulled the trigger. But, no, I mean, you know, we're calm. You got to, you know, I think that's one thing about, you know, racing that, you know, it's intense, but the lower you can keep your heart rate, the better moves you can make and better decisions you can make, and no different in any sport. So for me, that's why I train a lot. I try and keep my heart rate as low as possible in the race car so I can make those good decisions. And I do know that anytime I get flustered and, you know, you get mad at somebody, you end up making a mistake yourself. And so I think that's why we all try and stay calm.
I think why Kevin asked that question is because we did the driving experience here yesterday, and our heart rate was not low. And we were out there by ourselves, and we were a mess.
Yeah, you'll have that. You'll have that.
The professional driver doing the ride-along program went by me on the backstretch, and I could feel my car suck up towards his car.
It's like being behind a semi on the road, right? But you're doing it fast.
It scared me. There's no doubt
a lot
about
closer.
That. Yeah.
Yeah, we love it.
One of these
years. What'd you do this off season? I know the off season is about an hour,
went quick.
Right?
It went quick, but my wife and I had our first child in July of last year, so we spent, you know, really all off season as a family, just, you know, hanging out, and drove our campers in motorhome. We went down to Mississippi for Thanksgiving, went and saw my family, went up to Ohio to see her family for Christmas, and then some family came in for Christmas, and we just we went to Chili Bowl, raced Chili Bowl, but then we went to Naples last week. My wife, since having our child, she's been training for a half marathon, so she ran the half marathon in Naples last weekend, and spent a week in the sun, which, you know, it was cold back home in North Carolina. So getting acclimated to the weather so that we're prepared for Sunday's weather.
You like to play golf. How's your golf game been?
I haven't
suffered
played,
since
it
having a
has
kid?
Suffered, not really because of Stetson, but I'm a fair weather golfer. If it's 65 degrees and sunny, I'll play. If it is 50 degrees and overcast, I am not playing.
I'm with you.
So I haven't played since November. We had a member guest at the 500 Club, our golf course there in North Carolina, and that was in November, and I haven't played. I think I might play tomorrow morning with Todd Gilliland, who has probably already played. I don't know if he's coming here, but he's a couple down the line there.
He's good.
He's played. He's gotten a lot better. He's probably played. I don't know how many days we're into this year, but what 35? 40?
42, 43, something like that.
Todd's probably played 30.
Okay.
So, yeah, he's.
Is he giving you strokes?
No.
No, he's not
Not
that
that
good yet.
good.
He's not
Not
that
yet.
good.
He's probably getting close. As much as he.
Yeah.
They're symboling
he's
to each
giving
other
me the thumbs
here.
up over here. He's giving me
Hand
strokes
gestures.
tomorrow.
All right, real quick, let's give you some rapid fire questions.
Uh-oh.
Okay, the fun ones. You
Fun
ready?
ones.
You ready,
Okay,
Ricky?
let's
Here
do
we
it.
go. One driver, real or fictional, that you would race against here at Daytona, that you would love to race against. Past, present, future, a movie
Tom
character?
Cruise for sure.
So
Tom
Cole
Cruise.
Trickle.
Cole Trickle, yeah.
Cole Trickle.
Yeah.
One song that
In
embodies.
that era, I wanna race those cars.
Got it.
Okay.
I don't want him to race our cars. I want to race his.
You want to go back to the past?
I want to get back. I want to get out of the car with black all over my face. I know it was a movie, but I mean there were still guys doing that back in the day.
One song that embodies your race style that you would put on full blast for the Daytona 500.
Oh, my race style? I don't know about my race style, but one that I would have blaring would be like Summertime Blues by Alan Jackson.
Okay, I don't know that song. Do you guys know that song?
I do know that
Okay,
song. I'm not going to sing it because I cannot
Yeah,
sing.
but really, actually, the whole Who I Am album by Alan Jackson, I think it came out in the, 92-ish range. So
Nice.
One word.
One word that embodies your race style, that describes your race style.
Aggressive. Maybe.
Got a lot of those.
Yeah, I mean, if you're not aggressive with this car, you're falling behind. That's for sure.
And lastly, should you win on Sunday, what's something special that you would do after winning the Daytona 500?
I would be pumped to get my son in victory lane.
Very good.
I'm bummed he was not at Talladega when we won last year. So FaceTimed him. That was the closest thing we could get. But I can't wait to get him in victory lane.
That's really special.
That'll be a special picture to have in your office for the rest of your life.
Thank y'all.
Yes,
very
thank you, Ricky. Thank you, Ricky.
All right, good
Ricky
luck to you.
Stenhouse, driver of the number 47 car. Again, when it comes to speedway racing and plate racing, he is always a threat to win.
Yeah, very much so. 4 wins in speedway, super speedway racing. So that's good.
Yeah, folks, appreciate you joining us here on Next Star Nation. We are on the red carpet here in Media Day for the Daytona 500. We've had an opportunity to talk to many, many drivers as they prepare for the biggest race of the season, and it's been fun.
Yeah.
I mean, we've had some really, really great answers to this point. If you've missed any of it, we're going to post a lot of this stuff on the very sites that you're watching us on right now. And, again, it is really, really exciting as we get closer to the big race. Man, it is electric on Sunday in those last 10 laps in the Daytona 500.
And this man knows all about those last
right.
few laps.
Yeah, one of
Daytona
the few guys in the field that have won the Daytona 500 in your career. Austin Cindric, how did winning this race change your life?
Oh, it was definitely the best day of my life, that's for sure. It's gonna be hard to beat that, but we'll certainly try and rival that this weekend. But I think as a driver, I mean, for me that was my rookie season, so it kind of changes how you're introduced, right? I mean, Daytona 500 is a household name as far as the event goes. Everyone who lives in the U.S. should know what that is.
Yep.
So I think being able to be recognized in that way definitely changes some things in a positive way. But did it change my life? No. I'm still a race car driver. I still have all the same values, and still want to definitely go do it again.
You mentioned that never gets old hearing. Okay, former Daytona 500 winners, kind of like in golf, former Masters champion or World Series champion or whatever. It's just never gets old.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, those are titles that you know what they are. Even as someone who doesn't really watch baseball, I know the significance of a World Series and how hard that is to do. And this race is super significant to our sport and our culture as racers, and to be able to come here every year and be able to do it is really special. But also to be able to have won the race is really cool.
There are a handful of super teams in NASCAR racing. Penske Racing is certainly one of those super teams. what's it like knowing every single week you've got a legitimate chance to win the race every single week?
It's a rare opportunity as a race car driver, to be honest. You look at not just NASCAR racing, but all forms of motorsports and how hard it is to find yourself in a position to drive a race car that's that well prepared with personnel that are championship caliber. So I feel very lucky to come to work every single day and don't take the opportunity for granted. It's an incredible race team, and I look forward to it. I've been looking forward to the season to start pretty much since Thanksgiving, really. I took 1 or 2 weeks off, and I was over it, ready to get back to it, and excited to go have some fun at the track.
All right, our man JB's got some rapid-fire questions for you.
You ready, Austin? Some fun questions. Here we go. Let's start with this one. One driver, real or fictional, that you would like to race against at Daytona.
At Daytona for the 500.
Yes, sir.
I would say Mark Donohue.
Mark Donohue.
Yeah.
We haven't heard that name yet so far.
That's
okay.
One vote for Mark Donohue.
Love it.
All
One
right.
song that you would race to, full blast at Daytona, that kind of embodies who you are as a driver.
Welcome to the Jungle.
Oh, man. Guns N' Roses.
Yeah,
that's a
good
great
one.
That's
I like
on
that.
my list.
It's good. It's good driving fast music.
Yeah, absolutely. One word to describe your racing style.
Honest.
Okay.
Wow.
Right.
That's okay. That's why honest.
never
I'm just
heard
curious.
I was gonna say, tell us
Well,
why.
I don't feel like I change inside of the car or out. Like, you're going to get the same person and the same logic on the track as you are here. Like, I feel like I think there's every single driver in the field has been described as aggressive at some point. I feel like I've been described as you have to be aggressive to win these races. So I feel like I come by it all very honestly, enough to where you and I can have a conversation about it, whether if I did something right or did something wrong. I usually feel like I'm the first to stick my hand up if something goes wrong. If I'm trying too hard, usually that's what happens when something goes wrong. So, I feel like I come by my pros and cons honestly.
I think that's the most fascinating answer
Yes.
we've gotten all day, no doubt. And then lastly, should you win on Sunday, what's something special that Austin Cindric will be doing upon winning the Daytona 500?
I don't know. I don't like to plan for those things.
Spontaneous.
Yeah.
All right.
I like to be spontaneous. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Celebrate
That is
with my team. You can count on that.
Yeah.
All
All
right.
right. Very good. Austin Cindric. Appreciate the time.
Yeah. Thank you, guys.
All
Enjoy the
right,
race.
Very
Yeah.
good. Oh, yeah, we will. It's my favorite race of the year. It is. I love the Daytona 500 again because it is so unpredictable, and that's what makes it. That's what makes it so great.
And we talk about this all the time. The last few laps it doesn't compare to anything else in sports. It's really cool.
That's true.
Yeah.
All right.
So we were just talking about this man earlier.
Todd Gilliland,
About your golf game.
Yeah, Ricky Stenhouse. Yeah, you're playing.
Dude, I'm telling you, I might be as good as him now. Was he trying to tell you
wants-
he's better?
No, he wants strokes.
Oh, God, that's not happening. That's not happening.
Have you really played almost like 25 times this year
No,
already?
okay.
Or is
dude,
he exaggerating?
This is getting exaggerated a lot, but I would have probably. But January was like 10 degrees total in North Carolina, so didn't have the opportunity. But I've played a bunch here recently. It's warmed up playing tomorrow morning here in Daytona, so I'm excited.
You don't
Is that your big escape? I mean, golf is that what gets you away from the pressures of racing?
Definitely, yeah. I think. Yeah, I mean, for me, right, golf is so challenging, and my wife questions if it's
worth it.
If it's actually relaxing at times for me, but it's still so much fun, and it's just like I said, so challenging, right? It's you're trying to hit this little ball around a field with a tiny club, right? It's you're never gonna be perfect, and but yeah, I've loved it. I started golfing with Ricky probably 4 or 5 years ago, and have made good progress, so I'm happy with that.
You're not so obsessed that you have a golf simulator in your garage or anything, do you?
Not yet. No,
not yet.
I just get out there and whatever the conditions are, I still go play. So
there you go.
I'm just tougher, than the average golfer. That's all I'll say.
50 degrees is usually my cutoff.
Yeah.
Right? Anything below 50, 50 plus, I'm going to get.
That's
out
a
there
good
and play.
roll. Good roll,
All right, Front Row Motorsports. There's been some changes, but boy, if you look at the history of this team, the super speedways, that's sort of the bread and butter of Front Row Motorsports. So when you come to Daytona, I know you got to feel confident.
Yeah, I do feel really, really confident. I think, like you said, the super speedway program, from the looks of it, right, goes back until, I don't know when David Reagan won that first race, maybe 2016 or so. I think they got their first win. And back then, right, the cars weren't still great, but obviously the draft equalizes everything quite a bit, and they were able to sneak 1 or 2 out of there. Where now, last year I feel like we had the fastest super speedway cars every time we showed up to one of these racetracks. So it's really a nice feeling. At the same time, these races are still really hard to win, regardless. Fast car, slow car. There's wrecks and just so much strategy nowadays that is very important with the next-gen car. So, like I said, everything's got to go right, but our cars and the speed that we've had has been really exciting. And it's disappointing we haven't been able to take advantage of it yet, but I think if we keep knocking on the door, we'll eventually go through.
I think this is your 4th Daytona 500. What have you learned? What has gone on?
Yeah, I feel like I've just matured a lot of, how to handle the whole week, right? There's a lot of stuff that, we have to do, right? On the racetrack, away from the racetrack, sponsor obligations, lots of media, which all that stuff is what creates so much excitement for the race, which is super fun. But at the same time, you just have to know how to manage it, right? Give 100% in everything, but, still keep a lot of focus that obviously Sunday is the big day and obviously trying to walk out of here with the big trophy. So, my first Daytona 500, I feel like I walked out on like Thursday and Friday, and I was just drained already. I'm like, oh no, this is bad. We got 3 more days and then 36 more races after this. But I love it, and I'm looking forward to it.
Your dad, David, was a Cup Series driver. Chase Elliott is a second-generation driver. Ryan Blaney, a second-generation driver. What advice has your father given you to approach a Daytona 500 and maybe to approach Cup Series racing in general?
Yeah, I feel like I picked up a lot of it, right? Just being a kid growing up around racing and, seeing the ups and downs of racing, right? It's challenging. There's, 40 cars and one winner where, normal sports, you pretty much got a 50-50 chance, right? You're on team sport and one of you is going to lose, one of you is going to win. Where, like I said, in NASCAR, it's much different from that. So it's challenging, but surround yourself with good people is the biggest thing that he's always told me. He doesn't really, he's not really like one of those guys that's going to be in your face, tell you, what you did wrong, what you did right, or just give advice. It's more so of like we're both kind of quieter. So once we get talking about it, right, we get very in depth with everything. But it's definitely a great relationship and very different, right? He's actually fielding their first Cup Series car this weekend too.
Martin
so
Truex.
It's very exciting times for our whole family and for their race team. And I'm excited about it.
What do you do to get ready for a race, especially like a race like the Daytona 500? A lot of times we see video of NFL players or NBA players got their headsets on, trying to get so focused. What do you do?
Yeah, that always makes me laugh because I feel like I'm the exact opposite of that. I don't know. So preparation-wise, right, for the Daytona 500, it might be the race that we're most prepared for all year, just with the amount of practice we have, the duels. You pretty much know. You might still have some worries about how your car's going to handle or the speed of it, but by the time you get to Sunday, you pretty much know, right? Like, there's just going to be some struggles you can't avoid at that point. But, a lot of it is, just spending time with my team. That's my biggest thing on a Sunday morning. Just having game plan, having direction. I feel like calms my nerves the most. And then from there, it's just really trying to enjoy it and embrace the fans, the media support, everything on Sundays is the biggest thing for sure.
All right, before we let you go, we got a couple of rapid fire questions. Quick, right off the top of your head answers from our man JB from behind the board over there.
Are you ready, Todd?
I'm ready.
The fun stuff, okay?
Yeah.
One driver, real or fictional, so from a movie or something like that, that you would like to race against at Daytona.
Oh, I would love to race against Cole Trickle. Dude, I love Days of Thunder.
Yeah.
And I feel like I know all of his moves by now. I've watched the race so much, we could definitely beat him.
I hope they make, they made a remake of, or a sequel of Top Gun. I hope they make
the rumors are always out there. But
Days of Thunder 2.
Days of Thunder 2, I think it would be great.
Would be awesome. One song that you would have on full blast that would that speaks to you as a racer.
Oh, it speaks to me as a racer. I listen to so many songs. Dude, you know what? One that is off that is probably nobody else has said. We Like to Party. It's like this super annoying song.
By who?
Like
by who? We Like to Party by who?
Vengus or something?
Okay.
I'll play it for you. No, but it's super annoying. My friends give me such a hard time for it, but it's fun,
Love it.
That's my personality, I guess.
One word that embodies your racing style. And not aggressive, because we've gotten that 40 times today.
Maybe patient. Maybe the opposite, but it's it's like the song. You got to know when to hold them, know when to fold them. So being patient at the right times, but also aggressive. But I wouldn't say I'm the most aggressive, but I think we all are at times.
Patience, a good one. Lastly, should you win on Sunday, you pull right in here to victory lane. What's something special that you would do after winning the Daytona 500?
Ooh, this one would be really special, just with my whole family here. But I don't know. I feel like my wife is always by my side. So I don't know. I'd probably look for her first, but it'd be a big celebration for sure. And there's nothing like winning the 500. I assume. I haven't done it, obviously, but it'd be a big celebration.
Anything unique that you would do? Anything like out of the ordinary?
Listen, I got one for you.
Okay.
You are going to get a new set of golf clubs that are fitted and just designed specifically.
Absolutely.
The new the QI35 driver from TaylorMade?
I already got
like
that.
Oh, you do? Is it good? Is it
It's
really?
so good. Dude.
Okay.
we need a stream sponsor. You hear that? A stream sponsor.
Yep. We love Danny and I love to play golf. So that's our thing.
Good luck tomorrow. Play
television.
well. Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you, Todd. Thank you.
Awesome. Very good. Man, that driver just came out too.
You got this. He's got the song. He's playing the song too.
Right. Very good. Todd Gilliland, driver for Front Row Motorsports. He is really a fun guy. I had an opportunity to spend some time with him last year, and really is a good guy. Joining us now, what a special treat. Four-time Indy 500 winner Helio Castroneves at 49 years old is a rookie.
I know.
I know. Racing.
Wow. First of all, have you guys seen my suit? Can I get you anything? Wendy. Can I get a Frosty or number one? And
number one big size.
I just realized the Wendy is actually, I didn't know the Frosty. You can put a fry in the Frosty and eat it. I just
no, that's special stuff now.
Is it? Is it? You know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about.
I'll do it.
Oh, snap. Here we go.
Now,
I'm talking about. I'm getting there. I'm getting there.
When this deal came together and you knew you were going to be in the Daytona 500, excited, nervous, what's the feeling that you're having? You've been in the biggest races in the world. What's the feeling?
Put a blender and put all you just said and mixed it up. That's exactly how I'm feeling right now, to be honest. Especially this morning, they said like, okay, we're gonna have 50-minute practice, but we're only gonna do one lap. I was like, why? I need more laps than just one. I mean, I never ran this car. So, I did run in Talladega a little bit, but here is the first time that I'm running with the Cup car. So, thank God I did 13 laps. Hey, I'm glad that we did 13 laps. Look at that, me running there.
Did you get close to another car? Or did you just do the
not
qualifying?
Yet. We just did the qualifying, and I asked them, can I do something like that? It's like, take it easy. And you know what? I respect because, Darian Grubb is my crew chief, and he won the 500 here before. So he knows exactly what the steps you need to do to get there. So I'm glad that I have this amazing group of guys at the Project 91 with Trackhouse so that I can go through, use their tools, and make things happen.
I know this NASCAR stuff is different, but how much truth is there to if you can drive, you can drive?
Well, race car is race car. Doesn't matter. When I was out there, I'm feeling the wind, I'm feeling the car, and this is what you're talking about. You're making the comments what the car is doing. So, in the end of the day, yes, it's a race car. Now, when you're talking about 43, 45, I don't know how many cars, on the highway.
You make 41
cars. Here we go. So, basically, it changed the game because now that's where I have no idea how it's going to be. However, I do have 4 hours to learn, right? So
that's plenty of time.
No problem. But once I get going, I'm going to start using my bumper just to see how it is, so see what happens.
With IndyCar open wheel racing, you don't usually get very close to the other car. I mean, but in NASCAR,
have you watched IndyCar?
Yes,
Come on, this guy needs to know what's going on. It's pretty close.
But in NASCAR, you actually touch and bump on purpose.
I know.
In IndyCar, you don't do that as much.
I know, yeah. Well, in the end of the day, nothing I can do about that. I'm just going to have to ride, this amazing beast. It's a beast, but it's so far it's been good, and I'm going to listen into, obviously, what the spotters can see because I had the experience here. I drove a month ago with ARCA, right? And I'm going to be racing ARCA as well on Saturday just to get more experience. I need that. And man, when you're right behind the other car, you don't see anything, just the bumper. So I understand now why when people spin out in front of you,
not enough time for you to do something, you know, or to avoid. So yeah, it's it will be interesting. Hopefully, we just stay out of trouble.
How have the other drivers been to you? Have they been really cool? Do they think this is awesome that you're doing this?
I think so. I mean, you know, I don't know everybody, but most of it. Austin Cindric, he was 1 year old when he was in the team, so it's incredible just to see that I'm now going to be racing against him. And but he's been great, you know. Ryan Blaney, Joey Logano, Jimmy Johnson. I had 30-minute talk with Dale Jr. as well. I mean, so far I feel that people really want to see me doing well. You know, there is not. I understand probably some people, you know, no, I don't want to see this guy coming from another series and do well. But I feel majority of people want to see this because this is a special race. You want to get all the talents in the world to come over here and race and to show, you know, how difficult it is. This is very hard. You know, it's not something that you just jump in and everything is fine. So yeah, excited and so far so good.
AJ Foyt, Mario Andretti, the only two drivers to win the Indy 500 and the Daytona 500. What would it mean for you if you could pull off just an unbelievable upset to win the 500 and put your name in the same category?
We're talking about the gods of racing, right? Imagine you say my name and alongside those guys. Oh my goodness, that would be just absolutely incredible. So to count from 1 to 10, you got to go to 2, 3, 4. Let's go through that, and then I'll talk about it this Sunday, see how it goes.
Very good. Helio, we appreciate it. Yeah. Before we let you go, some rapid-fire questions from JB behind the board here.
You ready, Helio?
Quick,
I'm not ready, man. I'm not good to this stuff here.
Off the top, first thing that comes to your mind.
All right, here we go. One driver, Helio, real or fictional, from a movie or TV show. One driver you would love to race. You've raced against some legendary drivers.
Right.
But what's one you haven't raced against that you would like to?
My hero, Rick Mears.
Ah,
that would be a lot of fun, right?
Him.
Yeah, he was a man.
Let's go music.
Still the man.
Yes. Ready for music? What's a song that you would have on full blast in the car at Daytona that you would race to?
I'll say Taylor Swift, Feeling 22.
First Taylor Swift answer today, no doubt.
For the record, he's 49. He's not 22. But you're going to be feeling 22.
Feeling 22, man, I'm telling you.
Playing to the Swifties. I like your style. One word to describe your racing style. Indy and NASCAR, your racing style, one word.
Passion.
All right.
I'm a passion guy.
Passion. And then lastly, if you win the Daytona 500 this Sunday, what's something special that you are going to do, that Helio's going to do that would be unique?
You know what? Climb the fence.
One of the first guys to do that. Everybody's copied you now.
It's okay, man. It's so good. That means I'm flattered when they do that, to be honest. So it'll be good.
That's awesome, man.
All right,
good luck to you.
You're going to buy Frosties for everybody?
You know what? As long as you give me a good rating, I want to be the employee of the month, man.
With a side of fries.
Very good.
Thanks, guys.
What a treat.
All right. Thank you.
Also announced today that he was inducted into the Indianapolis Motor Speedway Hall of Fame. So, yeah, I mean, what a treat for NASCAR.
A funny man.
He is, man. What a personality. And he
former
can
Dancing with the Stars winner. I mean, back in the day, he's got a lot of talents. He can dance. He can drive race cars. Man.
Yeah, he's fun. He is fun. So, you know, Danny, unbelievable. That's been more than an hour and a half.
Yeah.
We have one more driver ready to go who's going to be joining us here to end out the program. And he's right over. You guys see him. He's right next to Helio here on your shot.
Yeah.
He's walking over our way next.
All right.
That'll be great.
Good.
And final thoughts from you guys. I mean, what are you guys looking for on Sunday at the Daytona 500? What makes this year unique? We've been doing this for 6 years now. Yeah. So what's something about this year that you think is particularly unique?
I just think these guys never get tired. Like, you would think if you've done this race over and over and over many, many years, just they're so genuinely excited. It's Daytona. It's a new season. Everybody's got a chance.
I've come to really, really love this stream show because we get answers from the drivers that we don't always get in typical interview settings and situations. I feel like they're a little bit more relaxed. I don't know if it's when they put the headset on. Yeah. It's almost like putting the helmet on. They just give us some really great, honest answers, and I love this. Yeah. But the thing that stands out to me every single time for the Daytona 500 is the last lap when you can hear the fans roar over the engines as the drivers are going towards the checkered flag. That always amazing. You see the fans in the stands stand up because we're usually in the infield when the race is coming to an end.
You had everybody on the RVs, everyone looking out from the infield.
But that collective energy from the fans as the race is coming to an end, I love it. I love it, and I look forward to it every single year. In terms of a driver winning the race, I always pull for the best story.
Yeah.
I love a great story in the finish. You know, how about, Kyle Busch winning the race for the first time in his career? He's come so close.
And you know how many times when we do our predictions, I pick Kyle Busch to win, and now, like we said earlier,
you got to stay with it, Danny. You got to stay with it now, right?
That's what I said to him the last time.
You guys you're ready to make your predictions here on the show?
No, we need to see how tonight goes.
I got to see the duels too.
I see. Taking the easy way out, huh?
You got to got to make sure somebody doesn't get wrecked in the duels and they're in a backup car, because lots of times it takes a little while to get the backup cars up to speed.
Yeah.
So
how about this? That I'll challenge you in this way. Give me a name that is fascinating to you that you're going to be watching on Sunday.
Tyler Reddick.
Yeah,
I think he's ready to roll.
Helio.
Hey, Jimmy
I want to
Johnson.
see Helio and see what he does.
I like the
Sunday.
pinstripes, Jimmy Johnson.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. That was a
rolling in some old school.
That was
magic
a
attire.
great.
Yes.
That was a great social media post and campaign that you had with Shaquille O'Neal to design the race car, and it turned out okay. I would have been a little worried with him designing the race car, but he did good.
He did really well. What's crazy is I was just in, I guess, high school and remembered seeing this kit, and I was like, that is such a cool kit. And when he went in this direction, I was like, yes, that's exactly what I would have hoped for. So I think the car looks awesome. He's been just rock solid cool, and heck, I even got to see him DJ last Friday night at Shaq's Funhouse.
Is he gonna be here Sunday?
No, he's commentating the All-Star event.
Oh, that's right. That's
right.
But
the reach of that is I think better for the program. Fox and TNT are working together and collaborating around our different touch points. So there should be better reach.
All right.
Yeah. What are your feelings, thoughts heading into qualifying tonight and duels tomorrow?
It's damn qualifying.
Yeah. For the first time, you got to race your way in. You do not have a guaranteed starting spot. A little bit added pressure. But, man, you're Jimmy Johnson, dude.
I wish I could lean on that experience.
I know.
The rules just change it. But here's the thing. As a competitor in the situation I'm in, it's really stressful. But as an owner and somebody that is so excited to see this sport growing and flourishing, I'm excited. I mean, you have Martin Truex back. Elio's here. I'm here. Dale Jr.'s got his first Cup entry in the sport. There's a lot of good things going on. So it's kind of a double-edged sword for me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Do you feel that excitement because there's so many storylines this week? It just seems like there's a lot more buzz.
It really is. Yeah. And to see the amount of campers in the infield already, people having fun.
Yeah,
it's going well.
This offseason, major move for you. You got with an equity partner. Now you're calling all of the shots, or majority of the shots, for Legacy Motorsports and Motor Club. What's that been like? How nerve-wracking is that now, being the boss?
I'm tiptoeing my way into it. I know where I can be of help, and I don't want to think that I'm some businessman. I've been around plenty of business, but I haven't been the leader. So making sure that I have a great network around me and a lot of people to bounce stuff off of has been really important. And we're growing. I'm learning as I go here. I truly am enjoying it. There is a very interesting and different form of pressure on my shoulders now. I've always been a part of a team, but the magnitude was more about who was on my car. Now I know that I'm responsible for 135 people at Legacy Motor Club, and so that pressure feels a lot different. But we've made a lot of big changes. We started last spring trying to slowly evolve our competition department, and then by the time we recruited some people and their contracts allowed them to come to work for us, we finally got everybody in the building on December 1st, and it's just been a very busy off-season trying to get the competition department where it needs to be. And we're here. We'll see how it goes.
As far as Jimmy Johnson out on the track compared to Jimmy Johnson 18, 19 years ago, what is different? I mean, we talked about this earlier about veteran athletes. They might have to be smarter or change their game a bit. How different are you from Jimmy a while ago?
Yeah, I was always motivated by fear as a young driver. Just wasn't sure if I could make it, and that accountability, that emotion drove accountability, and I developed this habit of outworking people, and I was in the right environment at Hendrick and Chad Knaus, and that whole system was perfect for me. And right or wrong, now I don't have that insecurity anymore in the car. But moving into ownership, it's starting to show back up
all
again.
over again.
And I'm welcoming it. I'm like, okay, I've been here before. I know how this works.
What is it like watching your cars, in races, in the Daytona 500? What is it like watching your cars get involved in the big one at some of these super speedway races? Obviously, much different feelings.
It really is. The last 2 years have been tough, so there haven't been many positive feelings watching our cars. We've led some laps, and the exhilaration that came with that. We've had a couple top fives. We had Eric Jones break his back at Talladega last spring, and that, I've had teammates injured, but there's just a different feeling when it's your equipment and somebody gets injured in it. So there have been a lot of new emotions that have been attached to this.
Great deal. Jimmie Johnson, thanks for the time. JB's got some rapid-fire questions
The
before we let you
stuff,
go.
Jimmy, the fun stuff. You ready to go? All right, one driver, real or fictional, so from a movie, TV show, or a real driver, past, present, future, that you would like to race against at Daytona. You've raced against a lot of drivers, but what's one that you haven't that comes to mind?
Dale Earnhold, Daytona.
Great
never got to drive against race against
That's the
him.
number one answer from pretty much every.
I bet.
Yeah. A lot of
I ran 3 races in 2001, but tragically we lost Dale before I had that chance, so I never got to drive against him.
I'm sure it would be one hell of a fight. One song you would that you would race to, that you would crank up in the car. Now, you're not really listening to music behind the wheel, but what's a song that speaks to Jimmie Johnson that you would crank up?
Race-wise, man, I'd find something a little more relaxed.
Calm you down.
Dave Matthews, I don't know, something with, I don't know, just something a little. Races are long. Now, qualifying would be completely different. I used to listen to Limp Bizkit, Metallica, just a bunch of stuff just to get you fired up to roll.
One word to describe your racing style specifically.
Calculated.
Okay. Second one for that.
Yeah, calculated is a great response. And then lastly, if you pull into victory lane on Sunday, you are the winner of the 2025 Daytona 500. What's something special that Jimmie Johnson will be doing?
I think I might cry for the first time on television.
Second answer.
Yeah,
we've had crying.
Yeah, it's an emotional thing, right? I mean, winning the biggest race in the sport. So I've
always gave Jeff Gordon a hard time over this. For whatever reason, when those moments hit, like his eyes water. He's like, I don't want him to do this, but they do it. Yep. And I've never been that. I was like, man, thank goodness. But as an owner-driver combo, something like that, something better, I'd just pass out, stand up, fall down.
Love it.
All right. If you won on Sunday, I know you're scheduled to drive 2 races
Not
this
a
year.
chance.
This would be it. This would be your walk-off win.
Oh, walk-off win. I thought you meant to run the whole season for the championship.
No.
That's been asked because I'd make the playoffs if I'd commit to the whole season, but no.
But all right. But would you say that's it and I'm walking away?
No, I'm dumb enough to think I could do it again. I'm coming back for more.
Awesome. What a treat. Seven-time champion Jimmie Johnson.
Jimmy, thank you.
All the best.
Again, going into the ownership side of things, he's been a part owner of Legacy Motor Club for a few years now, taking a bigger role at Legacy now. And, he's had so much success in this sport. Yeah. You got to believe he's going to be able to carry that over to the ownership side of things.
He's just been a great champion, too.
Yes,
He's great. He's great at what he did, 7-time. He's just a great champion, great for the sport.
He's also been very good at crossing over to other, in other venues. Obviously, go on social media and look up his stuff with Shaq. Shaquille O'Neal, the basketball great. It's very entertaining.
Yeah. He's behind you guys right now doing a little bit of social media, actually. And, it's funny, when he first started driving, social media wasn't really necessarily what it is now. Yeah. It's fascinating to think about.
But he's done he really, really does a good job.
Yeah.
And he was he accomplished something in NASCAR that honestly believe will never happen again. He won the championship 5 consecutive years in a row.
How do you do that?
That'll never happen again.
Yeah.
To say you did something in a sport that's been around for 70 plus years and you're the first to do it and probably the only to do it, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah. This has been a lot of fun. We probably went almost hour and 45, 2 minutes. I hope everyone enjoyed. This was a lot of fun for us,
too. Yeah, no doubt about that. JB, pressing the buttons as always. Really a pleasure to be with you.
It's always fun to do this. This is a great collaboration with NextStar between our 2 stations, of course, WFLA in Tampa, WGHP, Fox 8. I mean, it's just been great to many years of doing this. I hope to do it again in the future.
Yeah, no doubt about that. And again, it's called the Great American Race for a reason, and it is one of the most exciting events in the NASCAR world and NASCAR season. And it's fun, and we should have another great one on Sunday. That's what they're going for, the Harley J. Earl Trophy.
There you go.
And that's the main trophy that they add. Those little plaques that you see, that's the names of all of the winners. When you win the Daytona 500, you do get a replica of that trophy that you can bring home, but the original stays here in Daytona, and your name is added to the illustrious list of winners.
And one name that's not on there, we mentioned it earlier, is Mr. Birthday Boy Brad Keselowski. Turned 41 today. Happy birthday, Brad. Maybe you can get your name on that trophy finally.
And Kyle Busch, that would be a heck of a story on Sunday. That's what I root for, is great stories, and hopefully we'll have one. So we appreciate the time today. Hope you enjoyed it. Again, along NextStar Nation, we appreciate everybody allowing us to do something like this, because it is a little bit different. There's no doubt about that, and it's been a fun day as we head towards the 67th running of the Daytona 500.
Can't wait for it.
Yeah, right. He's Danny Harnden. I'm Kevin Connolly. We appreciate the time. Have a great weekend, everybody.